Must continue acquiring side quests.
Ah, Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's... not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will, or something akin to it.
His will? How and where?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but...
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
There's something about it.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains, but scouting, we're few with the nose for that. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits.
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present. I'll await you there.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her. And something else. Records from a Waluda prison.
How did she come by such a thing?
Finding bearers always was her strong point. And it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign captives, the masterless, and even better for her, bearers with no one to look after them.
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by whoever happened to come along next.
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your trust by now. And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Cursebreakers from traveling to Walud, I can't let those bearers die in their cells.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate the Narrow.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, and we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times.
Thank you, Sid. There... Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. The thought of him held captive in the...
He must be very important to you.
He was.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit walls. We should head there as quickly as we can.
As do I, Doris. Vivian, I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy.
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked. It's only right that I return the favor.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is... I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but... But perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, but this book, it set me on the path to becoming who I am today.
What do you think happened?
You...
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's contraptions, did you?
No. Well, yes. But that's...
It's Miss Middledore. Very strange.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there.
In the clouds.
That's what I said.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind.
Not long ago. Right after she got back from saving you from Stonear.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? Don't listen to her. Even if you...
But who's gonna put Miss Middledore back together?
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us? She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
How many of these I can easily recording?
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid,
Of course.
it is an honor to finally speak with you. My name is Herman. I wish to be deployed to Ash.
No. The lands across the Narrow are too dangerous. I will not send good men and women to risk their lives needlessly. Why would you want to go back?
I need to retrieve something. I was raised in an orphanage. Or rather, I was held captive there. It was not a place of nurture. We were tortured until we feared no pain, and few ever survived long enough to become...
I can't imagine.
I lost so many, but they must be remembered. The Institute was run with military precision. Sid.
You were a good friend, Herman, but the fact remains that Ash is simply too dangerous.
Sid, please.
Too dangerous for you, Herman. I'll go to Bad Bach and find the registry.
You will?
I won't let you risk your life.
I don't know.
You can start by telling me where I'll find this orphanage.
The Grace. Hidden in a forest.
All right.
May the mothers guide you.
Has Middledore mentioned anything?
Hi, Mid.
Mid, if you have a...
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here under my arse all along! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will!
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm, and that's with the sea beneath her. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to anything at all? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so I'm gonna do something about it. The Fallen had their chance, but they relied too much on magic. And see where that got them? But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First, I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if her godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the tub and crown. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the beast it belongs to.
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers want to...
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
I should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well. Pining for something, boy. What is is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want my iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he were looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you.
Where to then, Torgal?
Say what you will, Lady Karen. Seen ourselves.
All right, Torgal. I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me? Unless... you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't... To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
Ah, Clive, my boy.
Hippocrates. There's something I need to ask you. I've been charged with locating a book called From...
And you seek a rare gem indeed. One whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. You've been talking to Vivian.
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young professor has tasked you with obtaining a copy, I fear she asks the impossible.
The Executors.
Coveters of Secrets, a clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden texts and technologies. One such text being the tome Vivian seeks. Chronic a tale which could overturn the established order were it ever to become widely known. Or, so rumor has it. I've never...
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why? Secrecy. They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp not long after she found it.
By the hand of the Executors, yes.
But what drives them?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the Executors, you may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the identities of their leaders.
Then my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting?
Not from thin air, no. Rumors of the Executors are rife among the scholars of Storm, but rather less so across the strait. I have a friend, well, I had a friend, in the village of Garnick. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark. But, though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that a surviving copy of From a Distance, yet if you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library.
Very well. I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away.
All right, Sid. Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project.
Most bones are the same. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better.
I do. And what will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Carava, near, but don't expect to make quick work of the bastard.
I'll keep that in mind.
Do you see that too?
Papa?
What is it? Oh, please. Just make it stop. I'm scared.
Come on.
Yeah!
Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you!
Allow me.
I don't need your... Please, Field Marshal.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My Lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, And he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together, even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dhalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals, but those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this.
I shall.
My Lord Mark, your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least. Here we are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise, Torgor, where would you hide? It looks like we found him. Too slow. Too slow. If Mid needs another, she can come and get it herself.
Why the hell would Victor take the bearer's side?
Here to help me pack? Thanks, but I'll be traveling light. You're really going to go through with this then? I am. But before I go... If it's within my power to... It's the children. And if I leave them here, they surely will. Our friendship would see them ostracized forever. I can think of only one place where they are certain to be safe. Of course. Thank you, Clive.
Lubor, are you still here?
What is it, Ferda?
There's been a flood in the Velcroy. The League of Outlaws encampment was completely submerged in ether.
What?
Every last one of the bastards.
Bandits are one thing, but Akashic bandits are quite another. We need to evacuate. There's no... Ferda, gather the men. The Akashic may strike at any moment. Well, what are you waiting for?
Yes, my lord.
Clive, change of plan. The children stay with me for now. I tell them to prepare for a full and immediate evacuation. Understood. I'll do what I can to convince everyone else. You have to listen to me. They're coming.
Why do they always have to make such a...
Ah, it's you.
What do you want, Lord Underhill?
To pass on an important message. There's been an ether flood out in the Velcroy. The camp where the so-called League of Outlaws were gathering has been swallowed. They're no longer just bandits. They're Akashic now. You need to begin preparing for a full-scale evacuation right away.
Oh, do we? And who was it who gave you this disturbing news, might I ask?
Lubor, perhaps? The man spreading the same poison out in the square as we speak. You may believe his lies, my lord.
But why would he lie about something like this?
Some twisted attempt at revenge, perhaps. If he had not been unmasked, he may well have been elected our leader. A great honor for one of his kind. One he might well feel aggrieved at having been denied.
Lord Underhill, forgive me, but Lubor cannot be trusted.
You may not trust me. But for the sake of your people, ask yourselves if there is any chance that this is true.
There isn't. You can be certain of that. Now be off with you.
You're making a mistake.
Come, Clive. If our words will not move them, then we must find another way to help save the town.
You're right. Let's speak to Lord Ferda.
I think we'd better shut up.
What's Lubor raving about now?
Lord Ferda.
Sid, what's wrong?
I went to warn Conrad and Natalie about the Akashic, but they've convinced themselves that nothing Lubor says can be trusted.
The bloody fools.
Which means the town guard can't be counted on for support. But I can. If there's anything I can do to help you defend Dalamil, you only have to ask.
I appreciate it.
Sid! Ferda! I've been looking for you everywhere.
Victor?
I couldn't abandon a friend in need, and Lubor is in need at this very moment.
You have to believe me! The Akashic are coming! They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't tire, and they don't care who they kill. They're unlike anything that's come before. There won't be no parley, no mercy granted! We may have saved the town once, but this is different. I do not ask that you forgive me, but please believe me. If you do not run, you will die. You will all fucking die!
You'd like that, wouldn't you, bearer?
Yeah, with us out of the way, your kind will be free to claim Dalamil for yourselves.
You should run!
Run, bearer!
Yeah, run!
Run!
Far, far away!
Run!
Just go, bearer!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes! Go!
Come on, then.
Go on! Go!
Just go. Just go.
Lubor.
Wait. Someone's coming.
Go! Come on!
Stop! You're hurting him! Ah! Ah! Oh. Oh. Ah. What did Lubor ever do to you? He solves all your stupid problems, and he keeps all of you safe. You know there's nothing he wouldn't do for this town. Who was it who made that cleaver you use every day, Conrad?
And what about your counting table, Natalie? Who fixed that?
Whose men make sure the streets are clean so all your boots don't get dirty?
Who spends all day, every day making sure things run smoothly round here? And none of you ever say thank you. Ever.
But did Lubor ever complain? Well, does he ever stop smiling?
He keeps this whole place going. And you act like it doesn't even exist!
Lubor, we've heard enough.
Wait!
We will not run. The town guard will not abandon the very place it is sworn to protect.
And I will not give up for lost the stores that we labored so hard to fill.
So tell us, how do you propose we deal with these Akashic of yours?
We won't run, but we will fight.
All right, then.
Fine. Gather round if you don't want to die.
Allow me to explain the situation. The ether flood occurred near the village of Cheratina, deep in the Velcroy. The place had been abandoned for years, until the League of Outlaws decided to make it their base of operations. Now they're all turned, and if the scouts' reports are correct, heading in this direction.
They are mindless monsters, driven only by hate and rage. And they are utterly unpredictable. With the bandits, we at least knew how and where they were likely to attack. When these creatures come, Dalamil will have the bitterest fight it has ever faced on its hands. The town guard will muster at the north gate. The rest of us will take the south. Both forces will provide men to serve as scouts and messengers, ready to spread word of the size and nature of the Akashic force as soon as it is spotted. And as soon as it has been, we will converge on its position and see that it is driven back from Dalamil at all costs. Conrad, can I count on the support of the town guard?
Always.
I leave the selection and coordination of the messengers in your hands, Victor. and the command of our men in yours, Ferda. If you would both be so kind.
Consider it done.
As you wish.
Natalie, I would ask that you and your people have the townsfolk barricade themselves inside the bathhouse. And tell the merchant not to waste time securing anything beside the essentials. Preserving life is our one and only concern. As long as we survive, it doesn't matter what trinkets we might lose. Our riches can be regained. And if anyone doubts that, let it be known that the Briar's Kiss stands ready to cover any losses.
Very well. I shall tell them.
Where do I fit into this plan?
Where else but the most perilous place of all? I would like you to travel to the home of our erstwhile League of Outlaws. The main host is most likely still there. And Dalimil will not be safe until it is eradicated, root and branch.
A little gardening. How pleasant.
I doubt it. I have a feeling these weeds will be...
Luckily, so am I.
So you are. All right then, we all know what we have to do. Now it's simply a matter of doing it.
Looks like everyone's ready. I'd better not keep them waiting.
There it is. The flood.
But what's waiting for us inside? We can't leave a single one alive. The League is disbanded. I should get back to Dalimil.
All the Akashic we were able to find have been dealt with. Seems that might be the last of them.
Last of them here, perhaps.
Lubor, Sir Clive has returned.
Clive! What news from Charatina?
It's done.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Thank you, my lord.
Friends, the Horde has been driven back, and we need not fear the arrival of any more. Victory is ours.
We bloody did it! Lubor, after all you have done for this town, we should never have doubted you.
But we did. We only hope that you can forgive us.
We need you, Lubor. So, if you would still like to...
You do remember that I'm a bearer, don't you?
We do. But that isn't... It is a stain on ours. We thought only of what we perceived bearers to be.
I see. But I will only accept your proposal on 2 conditions.
Name them.
Firstly, that you will both do everything in your power to rally your people to my cause. If the Town Guard and the Merchants League do not accept my leadership, it will be doomed from the start. Unity is the key to defending Dalimil. When that time comes, I will expect us all to pull together.
Of course.
And secondly, you will accept that if I am to lead you, the mistreatment of bearers must end here in Dalimil. Any bearer within our walls shall be afforded the same rights as any other citizen. They will not be judged by what they are, but who they are.
As we failed to do.
We agree to your conditions. And we have only one in return.
Condition accepted. Well then, it seems my mayorship is all but confirmed. How fickle fate can be. Not so long ago I had resigned my... And now, here. For everything.
Lubor.
Fear not. You are, of course... I would sooner face another horde of Akashic than see... I'll make sure they're safe here.
I don't doubt that you will. And not just the children.
I'll do my... Can't have all your hard work going to waste.
Welcome, welcome. Of course. A fine choice. Of course. A fine choice.
Your Grace, my lord.
Cyril, you...
Yes. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive
the day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of? His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, with the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins. Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival. He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message, nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides, those who would have stood with you.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
It is true that though but one at least remains.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering his grace.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, your grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
Lord Marquis?
What is it, sir?
One of our brethren lately journeyed across the strait. He sent an owl some while ago.
Was he surveying another?
No. The object of his study was a savior cult that has arisen, an ancient religion that, by gaining an understanding of this new faith...
And so you sent one of your brothers to Ash?
Fully cognizant of the risks, yes. I entrusted the mission to one of the most able of our order, the third chair. Though he has been silent for some days now, yet it seemed only right to inform you of the situation, for as you so earnestly advised me, it would not...
But Ash is a big place.
Perhaps. The last owl I received from him mentioned a village where he had heard the cult were wont to assemble. Mickleburg was its name. It lies in the southern reaches of Waloed. If aught ill befell him...
Right.
You are much too kind, my lord. Go then, with my hopes.
If this new faith really is an offshoot of the Circle of Malleus, then...
Let's concentrate on finding the third chair first, shall we?
My lord, your grace. I hardly recognize you.
My grandmother?
I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude.
I merely did my duty.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Alas, he did not. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, but with his grace long since gone, and that you are grown men now. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claim, I know that nothing would have...
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happen. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A
certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, your grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield?
What say you, Joshua?
What else? Titan's Way.
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is.
For House Rossfield. Over here! Too slow. Is this the Heartstone?
Thank the Founder the Griffin is slain then.
And the Heartstone claimed.
Yes, this radiant luster like frozen flame. Thank you, your father would be...
Lady Goditha.
Thank you, Cyril. If you would excuse me, The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, and the graven vines encircling the stone.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, but this was more than just a message. It was a promise.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own, even if the armbands were incomplete. So...
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant of the deep love he had for both of you. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew...
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing, and so my pursuit continued. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father...
As do I.
Thank you, my lord, for coming back to us.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, let him see that you have received his blessing.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my...
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it. I prithee claim it, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Who's the curious son? Tricky.
Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
Yeah!
Finish this clip off. And then I'll stop.
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
I would have figured that was normal. Or already a thing. Anyway, good stopping point.